Hi everybody, it is Geordie from Geordie's Cards here for Heffy Doodle today, and I'm very excited to be creating a fun farmyard scene type card with you. It's got kind of 3 layers to the scenes, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. I love these stamp sets that I used today, and I just couldn't resist pulling them out and using them again. So I have the Farmyard Fun stamp set, which has the tractor, the trailer, the 2 little farmers, and a few other accessory pieces, and also the Utterly Fabulous stamp set, which has all the little cows and the chickens. I just adore these two. I'm also using the Birthday Trio frames die in the A2 size. So I've cut that Birthday Trio's frame from some Bristol smooth cardstock, and I've kept the inner pieces there so that I can do some ink blending on these. I'm going to do some very simple, very subtle ink blending. You're not going to see a huge amount of these background pieces because they're going to be covered up by the images I'm using mostly. But I just wanted to give the hint of grass and sky in the background there. So I'm going in with some fairly pale coloured inks. This is a green Concord and 9th ink, and then I'm going to do a pale blue sky as well. And I'm going heavy-handed, well, I say heavy-handed, I'm going heavier-handed at the bottom and then kind of blending up towards nothing in the middle. And I will reverse that when I do the blue part, which you will see here in a second. So I will just add a touch of blue to the top and then blend out to nothing in the middle. And this is a really easy way of ink blending without having to worry about doing any masking or anything like that. So as I say, they're very subtle colours, they're not bright or in your face, but I just wanted that kind of hint of a background there. So once this one is finished, I'm going to start working on my sentiment. So what I will do is I will pull the frame out, the frame that I've already die cut, and I'm going to temporarily adhere my pieces inside the frame. So this is where my Heffy Doodle memo tape comes in handy. I use this stuff for everything. It's amazing. It's great for holding dies in place when you're die cutting. It's great for masking. And perfect for this type of thing where you just want to temporarily hold something in place. It's ideal. So I'm just doing this because the sentiments that I'm using, I was worried, I want to stamp them on the actual frame, but I was worried they might be slightly too big. So I wanted to make sure if they were, that they would stamp on the background as well so that you could see the full sentiment. As it turns out, they fit perfectly, but I just wanted to make sure. So the sentiment I'm using is this one that comes from the Utterly Fabulous stamp set, and it says, "Holy cow, you're how old?" And I just thought that was a lot of fun and works obviously very well with the images that I've used today. And I think it would kind of make somebody smile. My daughter said somebody might find it offensive, but I guess you have to pick and choose who you give it to. But I'm just stamping that out with some Versafine black ink, just to get a nice crisp image, and I will stamp it a couple of times. I always like to stamp my images and my sentiments a couple of times just to make sure that they are stamped out really nicely. And that is the beauty of having a stamp positioning platform so that you can stamp multiple times. So once the sentiment is done, I am going to remove all of that masking tape that I carefully added down and start adhering everything to this card base. So this is a standard size 5.5 by 4.25 inch card base. I have stamped out the sentiment on the inside, which says, "Hope you have an utterly fabulous day." And I am going to start sticking everything down just with liquid glue. I don't have any foam tape on this one today, no dimension. Everything's nice and flat. I just wanted to go for something a little bit more simple, but there are plenty of images in this little scene, so I think it keeps everything kind of pulled together. So I'm just using my liquid glue to pop down my inside pieces, and you can see there that nice subtle background detail. I think it looks really great and just adds a little hint that there is, that sky and grass going on in the background. Once I have my centerpieces all glued in place, I'm going to start assembling all of my images. I say assembling, start laying them out and figuring out where I want them to go. So I have them all colored and cut out and ready to go. And I have my little tractor and trailer here. Now the trailer doesn't come with that little joining piece, so I literally just drew that in with a Copic pen, and then just coloured it in and cut around it when I was cutting. And it's pretty easy to do. You can, of course, and I think they've shown this on the Heffy Doodle channel a few times, you can use, there's a rake in the stamp set, so you can stamp out the rake and then just use like the handle of the rake as your joining piece. So that's another way to do it, but I just found it quite easy just to draw on those two little lines. So I was figuring out what I was going to pop in the trailer of my tractor. There's that little cow who looks like he's peeking over the edge, and I really wanted to use him, but I just didn't feel like it worked. I decided to go with the hay bales instead. I'm going to pop my two little cows into the middle frame, and then my little girl farmer with her chickens at the bottom. And I just thought it all worked really nicely and everything fit in perfectly. So I'm going to start gluing everything down for real now. I'm starting with the hay bales in my tractor, just figuring out which order I'm going to pop them in, and then I'll start attaching some glue down so I can hold them in place. And this was a lot of fun to make today. I really enjoyed it. There was quite a bit of colouring involved, but it didn't take long, and I really enjoy the colouring. I kind of just find it like my relaxing time. And I thought that this was the perfect time of year to create this kind of farm scene card, because we're heading into, you know, August, and I guess harvest time is coming up and farmers will be busy. I'm not a farmer, so I don't know. My brother is, so perhaps I should know more about farming than I do. But I just thought it was kind of fun, and I love these stamps, and I love colouring these cows. So I have coloured my cows like little Friesians, that's the word I was looking for, the black and white dairy cows. And I just think they're so cute. But you could, of course, do lots of different coloured cows, brown cows, black cows, whatever you wanted really, but they're just so adorable. They really make me smile. So I'm creating a little stack of hay bales here with 3 little hay bales all piled up together, and then I will move on to my bottom panel and just adhere everything down flat there as well. And I really think that these two stamp sets are just perfect together. Obviously, I believe that they were released last summer, and they are clearly designed to work together, but they are just perfect, and everything's sized perfectly, all kind of fits in well, and I just love them. I really do. The little chickens are another favorite of mine. I think they're adorable. You've got a little rooster and a little hen. So I've tried to colour my rooster how I imagine a rooster to look. I didn't like search anything up or anything, but I tried to make him look as rooster-like as possible. And then my little hen is a little brown hen, but I have added some white Sakura jelly roll pen to create some dots on her, so she looks like she's a little speckled hen, and I thought she was super cute. So the only image I haven't used yet is that little cow hanging over the edge, and then I thought, well, I'm going to use him somewhere, so I decided to pop him on the inside of my card. I felt like I couldn't use him on the sentiment because those little hooves just covered the sentiment a little too much. So I'm just going to pop them into that bottom right-hand corner there. And that is it, my card complete. I hope you enjoyed this one today. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. But please do subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back again. And please feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care.